I'm back.
This is a topic I've wanted to discuss for a very long time. Just anything Jurassic Park centric because I am absolutely a Parky, a Parker, a Jurass hole, whatever the fuck you want to call a Jurassic Park fan. That is embarrassingly me, okay? I love a dinosaur, okay? Shut the fuck up. Let me like my thing. I thought I would grow out of it, but I just get so excited when I hear anything from the Jurassic Park score. Something in my brain just turns on, and I become the most annoying person on earth. I don't care who I'm with. I could be on the hottest date of my life, and I'll be like, "Did you know this? That in the Jurassic Park book, this actually happened? Did you know that? Did you know?" Like, I can't help myself. Jurassic Park and Hunger Games are like my two Super Bowls. If you bring them up, I will have to talk about some random facts, and I am so sorry. That is just who I am. So I've been putting off doing anything Jurassic Park themed for a video because I knew that I would like deep dive too far into it, which I am planning on doing. It's just probably gonna be like when I have some time off. So I thought that this one would be just a little fun, dip my toes in a little bit. We're just ranking the openings, okay? So that's like what? 1 minute from some of them, 5 minutes max, I think. That's not that bad. And we're not even talking about Chaos Theory or Camp Crustaceous. So it's not bad at
I
all.
decided to become a liar.
However, I still overthought this more than was necessary. Hence the board. Hence the board. Listen, listen, I am a hyperfixator. I get very excited about things. I can't help it.
Lies! The filthy earth boy lies!
Anyways, let's get into it. It's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun. Crack open a cold one and let's talk about some fucking dinosaurs. Okay. Okay, so let's start by talking about the criteria. Oh, first of all, I've printed off some of my favorite images from all of the movies. And before anyone says anything, yes, these are absolutely all directly from the films. I don't want to hear anything about. I think my cigarette's breaking. I'm not gonna lie to you. Please, YouTube, don't take this down. I did lose the fake cigarette, so this may or may not be not a fake cigarette, and it's pending. So we will be talking about all 7 films, including the newest one that just came out. So my goal today is to rank the intros by cuntiness. Something I don't think the fandom has really thought about enough, you know? I would say that it's probably a little bit less of a girly pop fandom, which is fine. But we need a little bit more girly pop thought put into Jurassic Park, I think. So we will be looking for icon status when it comes to these intros. And at the end of the day, this is all my personal opinion. If you disagree, you probably will. That is okay. That is what this is all about, okay? That's what the comment section is for. Please feel free. Please feel free to fight for what you believe in. That is a-okay. I love these movies and I would love to talk more about them with other people. That is okay. In order to discover the cuntiest of the Jurassic Park intros, we have 5 categories we will be ranking them on, from 1 to 5 claws, fangs, clumps of amber. It's out of 5. Okay, so we have 1, the transition. This is something very important in a Jurassic Park film. Starting from the very first movie, they made it clear that they liked a little cheeky transition. So I will be judging them on their cheeky transition. Okay. Next, we have the score. John Williams really set these films up for success, but also failure. Those first 2 films are scored so beautifully that it is so hard to live up to that standard. So unfortunately, we will be having to judge them off of that because it's very important and it makes an iconic intro, okay? It's part of it. Next, the setup. How well does it set up for that particular film as far as plot, moral dilemma, just whatever is to come? Because every movie kind of has like a set theme or thing that it's trying to teach us. There's like overall themes, but each film has its own specific thing that it's talking about. So we're going to kind of rank how the intro set up for that. Vibes. This is very important. I don't want to hear otherwise. What are the vibes like? This is an all-encompassing one, you know. This is like cinematography. How much I like the characters. The divas, because there's a lot of divas in this universe, okay? And some of them appear in the intros, but some of the intros just set up for the appearance of the divas, and that's very important. This is the one that I left for myself to be very subjective, okay? So I get to just say what I want for this category, okay? I'm making up these numbers, okay? Finally, we have icon status. This is gonna be what kind of lasting effect did this intro have? Because there's some of them that you might not like for particular reasons, but there's things about it that just don't leave you. Like, people still talk about those intros because they have that iconic factor, and I think that's very important when it comes to a movie intro, because that's something about the first movie that made it so special. It has a very iconic intro. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say before we get into it. And starting off, my least favorite intro. This is probably not gonna come out as a surprise, but Jurassic World. I'm so sorry.
Sorry to this man.
It is just, you know. The only thing I have for the description is in my notes is just an egg. I mean, yes and no. I understand there is meaning to the egg, but at the end of the day, if I'm going into this movie, like, for the first time, I don't know anything about this universe, like, that's just an egg to me. That's not iconic. That's not really setting me up in any way. It's just an egg. And that's fine, but it's boring. Let's rank it. We're giving it a fair shake. So we'll start transition. The transition's actually really great in this one. I like it a lot. Transition from the claw grabbing the egg to boom, big claw. Just kidding. It's a little claw because it's a bird. Really cool. Really, it's very cheeky. And that's a big thing I look for in a Jurassic Park transition. But does that 4 out of 5 save it? No, it does not save it at all. The score is another part that actually really stands out for me. I really like the score on this one. I mean, it's pretty simple. Very much has like that classic Jurassic Park feel, but I like the added intensity of having like the heartbeat. I just think it really builds tension, considering the scene is just an egg. The score does a fantastic job of framing it, and I actually really, really like the score. Okay, and now moving into setup. How does this set up for the film? This is probably a very debatable point. So, does it set up for the film? Yes, because this is our main baddie of the story. We're getting to watch the Indominus get born, and she is very much a diva. Big fan, one of my favorites for sure. I think that she's an icon, and it is really sad that we only get to see her in one movie. Well, I guess 2. You technically see her in the next movie.
Miss Keisha.
She doesn't look great.
Oh my fucking god, she fucking weird.
She's looking a little rough. Yeah, so it's cool that we get to see her born. Well, we get to see her and her sister, and which that means something because she does eat her sister. So it's like, oh. And it sets up that tension a little bit, but it's not an inciting incident. I think the important part of a Jurassic Park intro is the inciting incident, like it kind of, it sets you up for what the film is, and this one is it's just boring. It technically works, like, yes, it works, but it's just boring. Since it's technically applicable to the plot, it gets a 2 out of 5, okay? I can't fully knock it because it definitely is doing something. Okay, we're gonna like quickly get through the last two because there's not really much to say. I've already pretty much said everything. So, vibes, it's a 1. Icon status, not enough. No, 1 out of 5. Okay. Next, we have one that actually might cause some debate. Yes, this is a still from the movie. Don't question me. Next on the chopping block, we have Dominion. And, I was supposed to specify this at the beginning. We're talking about theatrical releases. I am not talking about the extra 15 minutes of shit they tried to throw in, make it better. They had their chance to include that stuff, but they didn't. I am talking about what they put in the theaters. I know they cut it down so that they could screen more movies per day to make money. Well, that's not my problem. That's what they released. That's what I'm judging it by. Okay, I will take a brief side note to talk about the other things, but I am basing this off of what was the theatrical release, which was just the Now This segment, which I think is really fucking boring. I hate getting spoon-fed exposition. I think it's so lazy. I think it's so annoying. Something I like about Jurassic Park films, they usually don't do that. They throw you in with a little inciting incident and you get set up. Okay, we're watching a film about dinosaurs. Their dinosaurs are dangerous. Got it. I don't need all this extra stuff. Was it informative? Yeah. I just don't think it needed to be like right at the beginning of the movie. It's so boring. Like, I'm not excited. I don't want to feel like I'm in school when I'm going to watch my dinosaur movie. I want to see something scary right off the bat. So, that being said, I really love the prologue. I really liked the prologue, and it is a shame that wasn't actually the beginning, but I still don't think that we needed the Now This segment. It's just too much information, which is part of my issue with that movie to begin with, is they just too much. They added too much, like all the locust stuff. Why? I like dinosaurs. I wanted to see more dinosaurs personally, which is crazy to say, I guess. And so all of that extra stuff just, it bugs me. So, yeah. But I really love the prologue, and it's a shame that it wasn't just the prologue, or even just like Battle of Big Rock. Incredible. That would have been a cool way to start the movie as well. Just anything but the Now This segment. It really is such a shame. Now that we got that out of the way, we could be on the same page, please. Don't come after me. I'm sorry. I didn't make the rules.
Okay, maybe I made the rules. I may have made the rules. Okay, but I didn't make the movie. Thanks.
So there's not really much to talk about. It's just a lot of facts, and it's just like rapid fire facts about like what's been going on in the world. It starts in the Bering Sea with the Mosasaurus attack. Love that. Love to see my Mosey girl doing stuff. Diva. So we do have an appearance of a diva, which is very good. That does add points. You get they do get Mosasaurus points for this. But it's not enough to save them. Then it goes into just talking about facts like 37 deaths have been related to dinosaurs in the past year, yada yada yada. Dodson is doing stuff. He's not a bad guy. He seems very much like a good guy, right? No, he's like a caricature bad guy in this. It's kind of like infuriating. I liked when the bad guys were a little bit more morally gray, you know? I feel like he is too cartoonishly villain, and it's kind of annoying. The transition is literally just like that ends, and then it goes into Claire and the gang rescuing some cute little dinosaurs. I do love how cute they are, but it's not a very exciting transition, so that's like a 1 out of 5 for sure. The score, I mean, it's fine, it's good. It's a new segment, so you know, it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but you know, it sounds good, sounds fine. 2 out of 5. Okay, setup. I mean, what is a better setup than baby birding us the exposition, right? Yeah, I mean, it works. Big theme of this movie, we lack dominion over nature. I feel like this segment technically does align with that. It is showing the effects of man's choices and that life will find a way, that kind of thing. So like it does technically show that, so I can't fully knock it off. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's just not done as artfully as I like to see. Vibes, you know, as much as I have been talking shit, it has some cool stuff. I like to see dinosaurs in the real world. I think that that's really fun. So I'll give it a 3, I guess. Icon status. No. Forgettable. Boring. Mosasaurus. Do I give it a 1? 1 or a 2? We'll give it a 2. Mosasaurus earns 2. Perfect. 3, 7, 10, 12. Now let's get into the ones that I do like. Those are the only 2 that I like really don't like. Honestly, these two were really hard for me to separate, okay? They really, depending on the day, they could probably switch places pretty easily. The theme with these next 2 is cheese.
Cheese.
They're so cheesy. These ones really are what I would describe as camp. They're a little over the top, they're exaggerated, but they're fun, and they have a lot of classic like horror elements, which I really enjoy. So to start out, we have the newest edition. We have Jurassic World Rebirth. This movie actually surprised me. I found a lot of things that I liked about it. Did everyone have insane plot armor? But of course. But other than that, there were some fun things. Am I mostly saying that because I was just excited to see the raft scene? How dare you insinuate that of me? I am a professional film critic. I'm a professional. Yeah, that got me, okay? I was very excited. Jonathan Bailey, Scarlett Johansson. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to look at something critically when you put all of these things in my face? See, when I said that, the only thing I was imagining was Jonathan Bailey in that one scene in Wicked where his ass is just... Get it together. Have some decorum here. We are talking about very serious topics. This intro, it is fucking cheesy, but applicable to the film. My description of this one is just... yes, capitalism. How your overconsumption will be your doom. It is just so funny to me that a Snickers wrapper is able to collapse an entire system of a supposedly super high-tech facility. I love it. That is camp. That is camp at its finest. A big fan, okay? I think that's hilarious. And some people want to get mad about the product placement, but that's been a part of Jurassic Park since the beginning. There was product placement in the first film, okay? That is indicative of a Jurassic movie, so I'm not mad about it. It was very on the nose and in the vents, but it's fun. So, transition. Great transition. You have the dino claw in the red smoke. It looks very scary, and then it kind of fades, and then it's just red smoke, and then you got the logo. Very, very cool. Very, very nice. I quite like it. Now that they're good, we'll switch colors. We'll go to blue. The score is very great. It is very classic Jurassic sounding until we get to the actual attack, and there's actually like a big moment of silence, which I love so much. I think that silence is a very useful tool, especially when building suspense. There's no music. The D-Rex just kind of gets a moment to shine and be scary. Like, it really just does it for me. And then when the music does jump back in, it's like with a vengeance. Awesome. 4 or 5. Setup for the rest of the movie. I think it's a great setup because this movie specifically is about the island where the dinosaurs that were where the mutated dinosaurs that weren't good enough or cool enough or cute enough to be put in front of the public were kind of left. These were the discarded ones, right? And instead of killing them, they just kind of use them as a tax write-off, where it's cheaper to not dispose of them, basically. So they're disposed of, but they're not like disposed of. And I think that really connects to overconsumption and how companies produce more and more and more, and they feel like they have to go bigger and better, but that leads to a lot of waste. It leads to a lot of exploitation. I think that's what part of this movie is, and having it be a Snickers bar, a brand that's owned by Mars Incorporated, one of the biggest perpetrators of overconsumption, consumerism, all that jazz. It just makes so much sense, and I don't know if that's entirely what they were thinking. I don't know if they just needed something and were like, if we can get a sponsor for it, great. But this is what I'm seeing from it, because it's like, wow, overconsumption, and this is the island of misfit toys, essentially, of dinosaurs. Like, very cool. Okay, I think it's a good setup. I give it a 3 out of 5 because I don't know if I can't really tell if it was intentional or not. And it gives us an intro to the D-Rex. And the D may stand for Distortus, really, but to me, it stands for Diva. And I know there's a lot of haters of the Distortus, okay? I get it. Weird looking dinosaur. We could have just had more normal dinosaurs. There's millions of years of dinosaurs to choose from. Yes. But I don't know, it's not the worst dinosaur. How cool is it that the D-Rex can mysteriously change sizes throughout the film? That's like a superpower. It's so cool that sometimes it's proportionally like this much bigger than the people, and then sometimes it's like this much bigger than the people. That's so cool. I love that. Vibes. The vibes are good. The vibes are very horror movie. I'm stressed. It's building up. It is cheesy, but they are good vibes, okay? 4 out of 5. Shit. Icon status. I think that the red, foggy, like claw scene, I think that is very iconic. I really like that. I think that's gonna go down as a little iconic. I think the D-Rex is a little iconic, okay? I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Another cheesy intro. Okay, I know it, but I still think it's good. Okay, and we're gonna talk about it. But can we talk about this movie first of all? I love this movie. I have always had a special place in my heart for it because I'm a big Spino stan. I think that he's such a diva. Also, that ringtone, I think about too much. Just I think about it so much. So I may have showed a little favoritism when I put this one above JW4, and I don't care. For Spino, honestly, I should have put this one at number 1. Just for Spino, but I didn't, okay, because I'm trying to be non-biased. This one opens already in the most cheesy way possible. First, we have the Jurassic Park logo, and then the 3 slashes into it. I love that, but just it's kind of cheesy. I can't lie, but I still love it. It's fine. Then we open, we have the location stamp, and then, oh, it's restricted. Oh no. And it just feels so corny. But that's okay. We have Eric and Ben. We don't know their names yet, but okay. We have Eric and Ben. They're parasailing somewhere they're not supposed to. Naughty, naughty. They're parasailing somewhere they shouldn't be. Naughty, naughty. How many knots? We don't know, but it looks like they're going pretty fast. 20? I actually don't know how I don't know how knots work. Anyways, they're parasailing. He's like, get me close. They're like, we'll get you close. Don't worry, but not too close because you don't want to get eaten. But not too close, eh? Guys, I broke my cigarette. See, the fake one would have been better for... I mean, this is a fake one. But it wouldn't have broken like this. Should I tape it back together? Okay, so they're parasailing. Everything's going well. We get some very iconic lines. We get the, no, not yet. No, not yet. That sticks in my head rent-free. Like, anytime I think about this movie, that's like one of the first things I think of. There's a couple of things I think of. Number one is that damn raptor. That is the funniest scene in all of these movies collectively. Is that raptor just going, Alan? I don't care what anyone has to say. This movie is great. It is a surrealist masterpiece. Okay, sorry. I gotta stay focused. Yes, parasailing. It goes badly. They go into some fog, and then they come out of the fog. Oh my god, the boat people are gone! Presumably eaten. I mean, well, they definitely got eaten. We don't know. We don't know who did it. The big theory, that's another fun part about this one, is it's a mystery. You never truly know who done it. My belief is that it was the Spinosaurus. The cool thing about a Spinosaurus is they were a semi-aquatic predator, so they could fuck you up in the water too. So I like the idea of the inciting incident being from the Spinosaurus. It just kind of sets up the whole movie. But there's also theories that it was the pterodons. So we don't fully know, but I believe that it was the Spinosaurus. Ben and Eric go fly into the sunset, aka the dinosaur-infested island. With that, let's move into the transition. It is just simply them flying away, and then it transitions into boom, dinosaur attack. Not the Brachiosaurus attacking, but it's just toys. It's just some toys. It's just a little kid playing with toys. I think that's really funny. I think that has that cheekiness that I'm looking for with the Jurassic Park transition. Moving on to the score. Great score. This is the first film that John Williams didn't compose, so it had a lot of pressure on it to be good, and controversially, I guess, I know a lot of people don't think that the score lives up in this one, but I actually do enjoy it still. I'm not like a music professional though, so I don't think that I'm like the best one to determine that, but it still has the vibe, and I also think that I am quite nostalgic for this one because I did love this one so much as a kid, so that could be playing a little bit, but specifically talking about the intro, I think that it's great. It does its job perfectly well. Is it a little bit dramatic? Yes. But this whole movie, as I've already said, is meant to be a little fun and kooky. So I think it's okay that it's a little dramatic. So I give it a 4 out of 10. Moving into the setup. How does it set up the movie? I think it does a great job setting up the movie. Specifically because of the transition, I like that it goes from this like real danger to these toys of dinosaurs, because a theme that I personally noticed from this movie is Alan grappling with the validity of the existence of the dinosaurs, right? In his head, he still doesn't view these creatures as like real. Like, obviously he knows they're real, but he doesn't see them as real dinosaurs, and he's kind of dedicated a lot of his research the past couple years to kind of proving that John Hammond's creatures were not real.
And it is in the rock that real scientists make real discoveries. Now, what John Hammond and InGen did at Jurassic Park is create genetically engineered theme park monsters, nothing more, nothing less.
Are you saying that you wouldn't want to get onto Isla Sorna and study them if you had the chance?
No force on earth or heaven could get me on that island.
Right. So we see at the beginning of the movie, the scene that I really like that showcases this is Billy. Wait, I forgot. I made extra character cards of some of my favorite characters. Okay, I found it. Here's a Billy one. We gotta put them up. So I guess first I have to start with something that is said later on. So at one point in the story, Alan makes this connection that there are some people that are astronomers, some people that are astronauts. The astronomers, aka the paleontologist himself, they like to study these things from far away, from complete safety. They have no need to actually go and experience these things. The astronauts, on the other hand, want that firsthand experience. They want to get out there, they want to do it. And so a big like push and pull the whole movie is Alan being the astronomer and Billy being more of the astronaut. Like, he's excited, he wants to be out here, he wants to be experiencing all this stuff, and Alan's like, I want to go the fuck home. I don't want to be here again. Which, you know what? Fair. This man has been through so much with these animals, I wouldn't want to go back either. But now going back to the beginning of the movie, there's a scene where Billy has like created this resonance chamber that is supposed to replicate what a raptor would have sounded like. And Alan's initially excited, but the second it sounds just like the raptors that were back on the island, his face just drops and you can see the dread, the frustration. Initially, when I watched this, I thought like, oh, he's just like having like a PTSD moment. The more I watch it, the more I think it's him having to grapple with the fact that maybe these creatures are closer to being actual dinosaurs than he wants to give them credit for. And that's kind of something that like he has to grapple with through the whole movie. And eventually like they have this connection with the raptors. Like it's a whole thing. So to make a long story short, I think that the setup of having this danger to the toy dinosaurs is kind of cool, and I think that it does set that up. Am I reaching a little bit? Perhaps. Have I watched this movie too many times? Also perhaps, okay? 4 out of 5. God damn it, I did 10 again. Okay, vibes. Have I mentioned that I think it's a surrealist masterpiece? Uh-oh, the bitch is talking about surrealism again. Please, somebody stop her. What can I say? I like a movie that's not afraid to make fun of itself, and I think that this movie does do that. Is it mostly messy because the script was being written as it was being filmed? Yes. But I think that it is aged a lot better than people give it credit for, okay? If you go into this just looking for a good time, you're gonna find a good time. You're gonna find a great time, I promise. Just have fun with it. Turn it into a drinking game. It's only an hour and a half. That's perfect. That's the perfect amount of time to get wasted. Anyways, for me, the vibes are great. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 5. Fuck. Icon status. Listen. This movie gets bitches talking. And what more do you want from a movie than bitches to be talking? This one does that. So no, not yet. That sticks in people's heads. There's just a lot of things about this movie. Some of the plot holes sticks with people. 5 out of 5. Iconic. Next, we're talking about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This is the longest intro. I think it's like almost 5-6 minutes long. It's pretty long. So it has a lot more time to do interesting things, and it utilizes all of that time, I think. I don't think that this is like too long. I think it is great, and they really utilize their time, and they make a really fun intro. The movie itself might be a bit of a mess, but the intro is not one of those things. Actually, I think the whole first half of this movie is great. I really like the whole everything on the everything with them trying to save the animals on the island. There's some like truly like gut-wrenching scenes. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why do they have to do this like that? Anyways, let's talk about the intro though, because the intro is fun. Yay! Finally, they brought back some depth to the intros. I was sick of seeing everyone make it out of these intros alive. This is a dinosaur movie. Why are people living through the intros? That's not how it's supposed to work. And this one does it for me, alright? So, I don't... This one is so long to explain, so I'm just gonna talk about it. Okay, if you haven't seen it, just... It's cool. You'll like it. It's fun. Okay, so the transition is... Oh shit. I guess I have to explain some of it to explain the transition. Fine. Basically, you have Miss Frizzle's little school bus swimming around the Mosasaurus enclosure, which, side note, was landlocked in Jurassic World, but somehow is no longer landlocked in Jurassic World 2? Not for me to answer right now. Okay, so Miss Frizzle's swimming around down there with kids. They're looking for the Indominus Rex. Sadly, she's dead. But they're looking for her bone, so they get a little sliver of her bone. Uh-oh, Mosasaurus has arrived in one of the coolest scenes. I love this scene. You just see the teeth and then silence. Oh, perfect, amazing, no notes. Then upstairs we have a diva in a raincoat. That's something that's iconic in these movies. We love a diva in a raincoat. Some of them better than others. This is our most iconic diva in a raincoat, but I can accept other divas in a raincoat, and this diva gets a place. Okay, so we have diva in a raincoat on shore, trying to guide them and close the enclosure, whatever. But Rexy, Rexy, actually, is that one? I think that one has a different name. I don't remember all the T-Rex's names. I'm so sorry. I'm a fake fan. Is that one Buck? No, I think that one is considered Rexy. Let me call my mom. She'll know. Hi. This is just a random question. In Jurassic World 2, is that Rexy or is that a different T-Rex? Fallen Kingdom, yeah.
That's Rexy.
It is a Rexy? Okay, I thought so. I couldn't remember. There's a lot. Okay, thank you so much.
There's not a lot. Rexy's in all of them.
No, because there's also Buck. And then there's the two T-Rexes in Lost World. Yeah.
No, that's Rexy.
Yes.
And then Lost World.
That's the two. They're separate ones, yeah.
Oh.
And then
What was it? You know, when they run it.
that one's just used as a prop. That wasn't gonna name because it died so quickly. Shit. I accidentally got distracted talking to my mom, so I forget where I was at. Oh, okay. Yeah, so Rexy, we've decided. Rexy. If I'm wrong, sorry. Okay, yeah, so Rexy appears. Poor diva in a raincoat has a bad time, but that's indicative of the raincoat. The second you see the yellow raincoat, diva's having a bad time. So Rexy pursues. You think that he's gone away, because, you know, the ladder breaks off. He's free as a bird, right? Ooh, Mosasaurus. Jumps right up, snatches. Imagine surviving a T-Rex attack only to get eaten by a Mosasaurus. I wouldn't be mad. I feel like, okay, level up. But that leads me to the transition. So we, obviously, his homies are like, ooh, silence, like, damn, that's awkward. But also, we did accomplish our task. So it's a bit somber, and then it fades into lava logo. I think one of the coolest logos. I really like the lava logo. It looks sick. So I think that's a great transition. I give it a 3.5 just because the logo is super cool, but in general, the transition is just kind of like, oh, like it makes sense. It's fine. The score, I think, is really good in this one. It does a great job building tension. We also have 2 moments of silence that I think are utilized really well. So when the Mosasaurus attacks the pod, it just cuts to silence. Like, the lights shut off and it cuts to silence, which I think just adds so much tension to it. I really like that. We also have the victory. We have like victory music when we think that diva in a raincoat survived, but then boom, silence. Very nice. I like the way that that's done. So we're gonna give that, I give it a 4. I give it a 4 out of 5. That's like really great. I definitely have a 4 out of 5 bias. A lot of these are 4 out of 5. That's exactly what my letterbox scores look like too. Ooh. I never said I was a good critic. I just like to talk. So the setup for this one is kind of hard to talk about because I think that this movie is such a mess and it really feels like 2 separate movies. So you have the first half, which is them going back to the island and kind of, for specifically Claire, it's her taking accountability for these animals' lives and going back and like trying to rescue them, which I really liked. I thought that was a really interesting storyline that they could have like continued to build on, which they do a little bit, but Dominion has so many other things going on that you don't really get a focus on that. And then you have the second half, which is the dino auction. Is a whole thing. I feel like people have talked all of that to death about how much they don't like that. And I think that there's good things and bad things. I think that some of the like horror elements in that second half are done really well. Like some of those scenes in the house are genuinely scary, and I think that they did a good job with it, okay? And the more I watch the movies, the less I hate the like Maisie clone storyline. But I understand that people want more dinosaurs, so I get it. I get the dislike. I think that this intro kind of sets up those things, but more in a plot way and less of like a moral and theme connection, if that makes sense. This one's hard. I think I give the setup a 3. I need to think on this one a little bit more. I do think that it definitely connects the unpredictability of Mother Nature. You know what? That's a good one. I have big brain right now, okay? So perhaps it's trying to discuss the unpredictability of Mother Nature. So they think they have this like really good plan. They're like, okay, nothing, we got to figure it out. We're just gonna get in, get out. They don't think about the Mosasaurus potentially being there still. I'm pretty sure they think that the Mosasaurus is dead, so they're like not stressed about it. But I feel like that's something they should have maybe planned for just in case the Mosasaurus was still there. They also don't expect Rexy to be around, so it's just how man continues to underestimate these animals over and over again, thinking that they have some type of control, when in reality they don't. Okay, let's move on to the vibes. The vibes are just immaculate. This is just such a fun and engaging intro. I am like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, ooh, yes, attacks, dinosaurs, fun. I like it. It's great. She gets 5 out of 5 for the vibes. Icon status. Okay, so let's talk about it. We have a lot of icons. Boom, Mosasaurus points. Boom, icon in a raincoat points. Boom, Rexy points. Boom, death points. I like when someone dies in my dinosaur movies. Controversial? I don't know. Man-eating dinosaurs. I think someone should die. Sorry. I think people need to die for there to be stakes established. So points for that. Boom. 5. I give it a 5. You know what? Fuck it. 5 out of 5 for icon status. This is an iconic intro. Maybe the movie was lacking. Maybe the movie itself is lacking, but the intro is undeniably iconic. Moving on. The last 2. This was difficult. And I know there's gonna be some contention with which one I put at number 1, and I'll be honest, it does kind of change depending on the day. But based on me declaring this a diva off, we had to find the most diva one, the most iconic one, the most memorable one, and to me, that's The Lost World.
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting.
And I love the first one. I think the first one is so iconic. But the second one, maybe just slightly more iconic. Okay? All right? Let's start with the first one. I think everyone, especially if you're watching this, you know the first one's intro. I don't have to explain that. I think most people can recognize those booms from anywhere. What a fantastic way to start a movie. I like the simplicity of the titles. Like it just, everything about it is truly immaculate. So well done. So let's talk about the transition. This is the movie that started it all with a cheeky little transition. So this one, you of course end with Muldoon screaming the iconic "Shoot her!" And then it's the and then that was a scream, by the way. And the hand slipping, and that fades into Gennaro on a raft. Like, you can't tell me that's not a little cheeky. It really is. You go from this like horrific scene to just lawyer on a raft. It's so funny. It's so great. Perfect transition. 5 out of 5. What a great way to start off a series. We already kind of talked about the score. I mean, John Williams just truly knocked it out of the park for this whole film, and I think it shines so well in this intro. You have the booms at the beginning that bring us into it. You have kind of the like mysterious safari music that's kind of like getting us into it. And then as the tension and the horror builds, you have that pressure that's created so masterfully with the score. Like, this is just a masterclass in how the scores should be done for all of these movies. So score is also getting a 5. It's also getting a 5. I don't make the rules, I just follow them. Okay, so what about the setup? It is the perfect setup. Man creates dinosaur, dinosaur eats man, the illusion of control, value of human life over the product. It is all there wrapped up in a little bitty bow and then fed to a dinosaur. When I was younger, I was just like, oh my gosh, guy got attacked by a dinosaur, that's crazy. But the older I get and the longer I've been in
the workforce,
the more I start to notice how it is also like a social commentary, how they are so unwilling to shoot this raptor that's literally eating one of their friends because it is such a valuable product. Instead, they're like trying to zap when that's clearly not working. Like, does nobody have an actual fucking gun? They probably do, but they're not going to do it because that product has more perceived value than this poor man's life, which we actually find out in the second movie how much his family got paid. So there actually is like a monetary value on this person's life, but it's just not, it's not valued in that moment. They're like, oh no, we're trying, oh, we're zapping or what, but it's not working, right? Because at the end of the day, this is a business. They have to prioritize, and unfortunately they do prioritize the product over human life. It does also, of course, represent the thoughts of our in-house philosopher, Ian Malcolm. Chaos theory, you know, you can't predict. You have no control. You have no way of knowing what they're going to do, how they're going to react in a given situation. They had this perceived control, and clearly that was not correct. It really is the perfect representation of the hubris of man. It's, I think, a great setup for this whole movie. Another 5. Another 5! Listen, I told you it was hard for me to separate the top 2. They're both so great. Next, the vibes. Vibes, so spooky, scary. The cinematography on this scene is just, it's so well shot, and the raptors just look so good as well. The low lighting is really where they shine at. They just look so realistic, and even, 20 something years later, it still looks so good, which is very, very impressive. And they just set it up with the score. Like, the vibes are just incredible. 5 out of 5. But you could have guessed that. And finally, icon status. I mean, all of the lines are pretty much iconic. Like, this is such a quotable intro scene. The shoot her, and then that scream is like blood curdling, it's gurgling. It's nasty, but it's so great. Iconic scream. Scream queen, if you will. Icon status. The raptors from the first film are also very much divas. I don't know, they have that it factor, and I love them. So, icon status. Muldoon is also a very fun character. I really like the storyline of Muldoon versus the raptor. I think it's really interesting. There is a respect there, which some of the other characters don't quite have because they don't understand yet how dangerous they are. But he's kind of like, no, they want to fucking kill us. I understand. I understand what's going on here. He was on it, but sorry, wasn't enough to save you though. That's rough. listen. Many people consider this a perfect film, and I think that they are freaking onto something, because this is so good. Like, this intro, like, what a way to start a movie, and it just sticks with you. It's so good. Now, that being said, you're probably thinking, fuck did you put Lost World higher? Because I can. This is my favorite part of the movie. Can we talk about Kelly for just a second? What an icon. I don't want to hear any Kelly slander in the comments. Kelly is an icon. The way that she gymnastic kicks that raptor is so iconic, and I don't want to hear any shit about it. There is so much cheesy stuff that happens in these films. Let my girl use gymnastics to kick a raptor, okay? It also led to a very cute father-daughter bonding moment, and I will defend it, okay? Icon. Let's talk about The Lost World. All I wrote for the description of this one is, yay, family time. This one just has everything that I look for when it comes to a Jurassic intro. We have an inciting incident. We have some type of human connection to the dinosaurs, because that's like something that is prevalent throughout the films. I feel like I didn't talk about that a whole lot for the other ones, but that is something that's very prevalent. Like, most of these films have juxtaposed stories, like something is happening with the dinosaurs and something similar is happening with the animals, and that's very prevalent in this film specifically, because you have Malcolm and Sarah protecting Kelly, the two Tyrannosauruses protecting their baby. Like, that's like a cool juxtaposed storyline.
Mommy's very angry.
So I like when the intro has some type of human connection thing to it as well. That's why I like, this is like it starts with like family time, okay? Cool thing about this scene is it's actually taken from the first novel, which is cool. It is a shame though, we haven't gotten the actual Compsognathus scene from the second book where they attacked a baby, because that scene is so fucking scary to read in the book. The tension and suspense is so spooky, but it's probably a little bit too dark for the ratings that they usually go for on these movies. But you know what? I'll take this one. This one is very good still. I promise I'm not rooting for children to get attacked by dinosaurs. I just think it adds a lot of drama. Actually, something about this intro is I feel like if the little girl would have died, it would have raised the stakes for Kelly, and that could have been pretty interesting.
Oh, brother!
I promise I'm not rooting for the death of children. I just like when there's suspense and drama. I'm so happy she survived, okay? I promise. Okay, so basically we have family on the beach of Isla Sorna, which is an island that we don't know yet. They don't know yet. Nobody knows that this is a dinosaur island, which is very dangerous to just post your family up at a random island. But what do I know? I'm not a parent.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person.
So they're hanging out, and the little girl goes off, and she finds these cute little compies. She's like, oh my gosh, let me give them some of my sandwich. Just a cute little guy. But as we know, those little fuckers are not cute little guys. They're such menaces, and they immediately try to attack her. And she's like, uh-oh, and then she's trying to run away. Boom, she gets attacked, and then we get the iconic scene. Moving to our transition, we get the scene of the mother running over and just screaming her heart out. Like, that is a scream queen. That is a diva I love. But then the best thing to ever happen is it cuts to Ian Malcolm yawning. That is truly the most iconic. I've heard that referenced in so many random film discussions that aren't even about like Jurassic Park specifically, but that match cut is just like, it is so funny. It is so iconic. So that gives it 6 out of 10. 6 out of 5, sorry. The score, this is the last movie that was composed by John Williams, so obviously very great, so mysterious, so much tension, and the way that it like fades to a scream to like add that drama, chef's kiss. 5 out of 10. Setup. How does this set up the movie? I talked a little bit about this, but this movie focuses a little bit more on human connection. Obviously, there's like bigger world stuff with InGen and the poachers and like that like all that storyline, which I really enjoy, but I think a lot of its heart comes from the connection of Malcolm and Kelly, and then also Sarah, like that whole connection, and then the quote-unquote humanization of the T-Rexes. In the first movie, the T-Rex is just kind of seen as the antagonist. There's not really a lot of personality given to the T-Rex in that film, but in this movie, they're concerned parents, and it's really interesting to see them working as a parental unit. Kind of juxtapose that with Ian Malcolm. Like, it was very cool, and it was like showing him like kind of like learning how to be a father, because he's clearly not very good at it.
You like to have kids, but you just don't want to be with them, do you?
I think that this intro does a good job. It shows a little bit of human connection. It shows the dinosaurs, and it's just spooky. It's a nice, inciting incident. Okay, move on to the vibes. Just immaculate. Chef's kiss. It looks great. Specifically, I love the shots of how like rough the water is, because at first it looks like, oh, like a pretty like island shot, but the more you look at it, the more you see like the water is like really rough and already kind of ominous. And I like that the parents even get, like, despite them only being on screen for such a short amount of time, they already get some characterization. Specifically, I'm thinking there's one scene where the mom is like about to go like pour herself some champagne, but then she like stops mid-thought and like makes one of the servants do it for her when that was like completely unnecessary, and she was like about to do it herself anyways. I just think that's like a fun little touch. The compies, they look so cute. I know they're vicious. I know that they're dangerous, but they look so cute in this, and I like that. 5 out of 5. Yeah. Icon status. This is what really sets this one apart for me. So this movie is already set up for failure, having to follow the absolute perfection that is Jurassic Park. Like, Lost World already had all of the odds stacked against her. You know, she had a lot to live up to. And I think specifically the intro does this so well. The intro is able to build up so much suspense to an audience that already knows. Like, we already know about the dinosaur thing, like, how much suspense can they really build? But to be fair, it is Spielberg, so like a lot of suspense. Spielberg is so good at building suspense, and this intro does that so well. It's also got the iconic scream to yawn. That's undeniably iconic. The compies themselves are pretty iconic within the franchise. In this movie, they have a lot to do too. You know, they have their whole storyline with Taser Bro, so that's cool. I would also argue that the mom is a diva. You know, she's a scream queen, she's a diva. I give her status. The daughter, also a diva. Like, she is fully a Disney princess. She is like, I'm gonna feed these little creatures, and it's so freaking cute. And I feel so bad for her because it doesn't go well, but it's so cute. You know what? She did her best. 5 out of 5. Here's our final rankings. So officially, the hottest opening of the hottest franchise about dinosaurs who probably went extinct from being too hot is Jurassic Park, The Lost World. Yay! And I said what I said, and I stand by it. Thank you so much for watching. This ended up being way longer than I thought it was going to be. This was supposed to be just a quick little thing that I didn't think too much about, but I failed. If you have anything to add, anything you disagree with, please let me know in the comments. I would love to discuss. Thanks for watching. I am done with my shows for the year, so I'll probably be able to post a little bit more frequently. I don't know. Hope to see you, not sporadically, but we'll see. Bye.